When you go through many spiritual awakenings, you will realize that trauma gets stored in different areas of your body. And that trauma gets stored in different areas of your body based on what types of trauma you went through. And it's funny because when you watch animals and how they deal with trauma, it's completely different than how we deal with trauma. For instance, if you have a squirrel and it's being chased by a cat or something big and it thinks it's about to die and it's in a serious life-threatening situation, when that squirrel gets out of that life-threatening situation, for like a couple minutes, it'll just go and be by itself and just shake all that stress and fear and anxiety, all those emotions. It just shakes. It just sits there and shakes for minutes. And it's funny because it's the opposite of what we do as humans. We get traumatized, and every instance that it comes up, we try to just push it back down. Any instance that we start feeling it, we try to cut it off early. Instead of just being by ourselves and just letting those emotions process and come out, we just constantly try to find ways to just stuff it back in there, So it's just something to think about, Obviously these animals, they don't have as much complex thoughts and, ideas and things going on with their lives, but at the same rate, they go into a survival mode and they come out of it when they feel safe. So they're still transitioning from having to be in survival mode through trauma into being in a peaceful state. And they're able to keep those separate. They're not in a peaceful state and feeling trauma like we do. We're not, cutting up on a Tuesday, then, the conversation dies down and you look down and now you're starting to think about things that hurt you, It's just not the same. It's very interesting to me how the animals process their trauma versus us. But it's just something to think about. That's why I'm putting that out there. It's just something to think about. We definitely, either way you look at this, trauma has to be pushed out. It has to be released. It's getting stored, and by you doing this and pushing it further, it's just getting more stored and compacted. But by releasing, it's gone. It's pretty much over. Like, it's less and less. Like, the wave of the emotion is like kiddie pool, it gets littler and littler as you work on things. But it's all love, everybody. I just wanted to put that little piece out to just get your mind thinking, really. Like, why are we so different? We take things too serious, we don't give ourselves the time. We act like we gotta uphold a certain image, stuff like that. But it's all love, everybody. I wouldn't talk unless it was. You all know this.